All right, guys, so we're starting 5-5 today. We're going to be looking at graphs and pulling information off of them. So on the XY axis I have there, I've got two lines. I've got A with lots of points and B with lots of points. We're just going to answer some questions about them. First, we're talking about line A. It says, what's the value of Y when X equals 2? Well, here's the X-axis. There's 2 on the X-axis. Well, I want to go up as far as I need to hit the line so I can know what Y is when X is 2. So go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 0.27. So when X is 2, Y equals 7. Let's look at the next one. It says on A, what's the value of X when Y is 6? So I want to go up 6 on the Y-axis, and I actually have my Y value right there on the X-axis. So my X value when I go up to 6 is 0. So X equals 0. Then we look at A again. It says what's the value of Y when X equals -8? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -8's right here. Looks like I have to go up 2 to get there. So when X is equal to -8, Y is equal to 2. Okay, so we're basically just looking for points. Be careful and count carefully. Now, I'm going to kind of keep the picture where it is. We're going to go on to number 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to kind of write them on the side here so I can keep the picture up there for you. So we're talking about number 4 next. It says, what's the slope of line A? Now, remember, you can pick any 2 points. It could be the first point and the last point, 2 points in the middle, 1 point, and then its next point. Doesn't matter. As long as you simplify, you're still going to get the right slope. I'm going to pick this point and this point. I'm going to count rise over run. I have to go up 1. Oops. Up 1, right 2. So my rise over run is 1 over 2. And it's going up and to the right, so that means my slope is positive. Number 5 asks for the Y-intercept. Well, that's where it crosses the Y-axis. So it's this point right here, which is at over 0, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the point 0, 6. Then number 6 asks for the X-intercept. Well, that's where it crosses the X-axis. And it's kind of hard to see out here because it's going to go a little further. But I know it goes, as far as slope goes, it's over 2 down 1, which gets me to 10. Well, if I go over 2 more down 1, it brings me out to 12. It's kind of tough to see. So my X-axis, or my X-intercept, is -12, 0. Now, if it does happen like that on your homework, just be careful and do your best, but I'll take some leniency there. Now it asks us a pretty important question. It says, what is the equation of line A? Now, I want you to remember something. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Well, if we can just find the slope and the y-intercept, we can plug them in for m and b, and we've got our equation. So I've got y equals, well, we already found our m. It's right here. So I'm going to plug it in. So I have 1/2 x. And then we already found b as well. It's right there. So plus 6. So number 7, the equation of the line is 1/2 x plus 6. Now, if you want to check that, you could throw it into your calculator, put it into y equals, and look at the graph. You should get the exact same graph as line A. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that stuff. We're going to move on to number 8. We're going to be talking about line B now. So number 8, it says on B, what is the value of f of 1? Now that can be a little confusing. That f of 1, I'm going to write it up here. This is saying if x is 1, what is y? So we've already kind of seen this. Now remember, we're using line B this time, okay? So I'm going to go over to 1 on x, which is right here, and go, it looks like I have to go down this time to get to the line. I have to go down 3. So when x is 1, y equals -3. Number 9 says on B, what is the value of x when f of x equals 5? So let me write that up here. Remember, f of x is a fancy thing for y, so it's really saying what's x when y equals 5. So I'm going to go to y equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about right here. And I'm going to go over until I get to b. Well, I had to go over -3. So when y is 5, x is equal to -3. Be careful on those, guys. It seems easy when you see me do it, but count carefully. It can get kind of tricky. Let's move on to number 10. What's the slope of line B? Well, guys, I'm going to pick this point and this point. My run is 1, my rise is 2, so my slope is 2 over 1, but it's going down and to the right, so it's negative. Now I can do a little bit better than that and simplify, and I get negative 2. Number 11, what's the y-intercept? Well, I need to find where it crosses the y-axis. It looks like it crosses the y-axis down here. That's point 0, negative 1. And then again, number 12 asks us what's the equation of the line. I know it's y equals, the slope we found was negative 2, so negative 2x. The y-intercept was at negative 1, so minus 1. So guys, be really careful when you do these. Again, you can check those equations in your calculator. Let's head on to the next page. Now back here, we've got a couple of other little problems, some of them are review. Number 12 said, if 4 comma y is a solution to the equation 3x plus 2y equals 4, what is the value of y? Now yesterday we were finding x-intercepts and we knew we always had to plug 0 into something and solve. Well, they've given us an x value in this one. So I need to find y. I'm going to take that x value, I'm going to plug it in here and solve for y. So I have 3 times the x value 4 plus 2y equals 4. So I just plugged in x. Now I'll do my arithmetic. That's 12 plus 2y equals 4. I subtract 12 from both sides, and I get 2y equals negative 8. The last piece would be to divide by 2, and I got y equals negative 4. So it could give you x, it could give you y, whatever it gives you. Plug into the equation, solve for the other variable. Let's go ahead and look at the next one, or the next two. Now it says graph, and you really have a couple of options now. Since we found x and y-intercepts the other day, we could use that. Or since I think it's more complicated, we can solve this for y and use the slope and the y-intercept, which is what I'm going to do. So I've got 3x plus 2y equals 8. The first thing I'm going to do is subtract 3x from both sides. Now I have 2y equals negative 3x plus 8. I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to divide every piece by 2. And I get y equals negative 3 halves x plus 4. So I can pull the slope out of there. It's negative 3 over 2, so that's going to be down and to the right. And my y-intercept is 4, so the point is going to be 0.04. So let's see, over 0, up 1, 2, 3, 4 would be right here. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, right 2. Down 1, 2, 3, right 2. I'm going to do one more so I can make sure I have my line, and then I'm going to connect those together. If you wanted to use the y and x-intercepts, that's totally fine. Just remember when you're finding the x-intercept, y is 0. When you're finding the y-intercept, x is 0. Let's look at the one to the right. This is a graph of x equals negative 7. Now, we've been having a little bit of trouble with this one, guys. You need to be really careful when you work this. These are not supposed to be hard. It's something you need to remember. Here's the x-axis. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 7 on the x-axis. If you were to draw a horizontal line, or line left to right, that would say that every value of x changes. Like if it started down here, it'd be negative 10, it could be 0, it could be 5. We need a vertical line through that point. This says that x is always negative 7, okay? So x equals is vertical, y equals is horizontal. So please be careful when you do that. And just a little extra, since it's a vertical line, its slope is undefined. Its y-intercept does not exist, so there's none. Let's do one more problem, guys. Another review problem, probably one of the harder problems we've done. It says determine the value of r so that the line through the given points has the indicated slope. Now we're going to use our formula for this one. That slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, that's on your formula sheet. So I've got an x1 y1 and I've got an x2 y2. So I have y2 minus y1 is 6 minus negative 6. So I have a boom boom over r minus 5. Now once I've got this set up, guys, I'm going to set it equal to negative 2/3. I know that's not what 6 plus 6 is going to equal, but remember, we're going to have to simplify at some point. I'm going to do any arithmetic I can. 6 plus 6 is 12 over r minus 5 equals negative 2 over 3. Now, I can't do anything else, so this is where I cross multiply. So I've got negative 2 times r minus 5 equals 3 times 12. Well, I can distribute. Negative 2 times r is negative 2r. Negative 2 times negative 5 is plus 10. And that equals 3 times 6 is 36. I can then subtract 10 from both sides. And I get negative 2r equals negative 26. I'm sorry, positive 26. Almost messed that up. And then the last step would be to divide by negative 2. So I got r equals negative 13. Now, if you're not sure, you could go plug that in and see. If you did, we know we'd have 12 from the 6 plus 6. And then we'd have negative 13 minus 5. That'd be negative 18, which simplifies down to negative 2/3. So it worked. All right, guys, I know that's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you have questions, you need to come ask, and good luck.